Edge review. Sick. All right, so we got a stream marker in. So let's get started. So if you guys are joining us over on YouTube, I'm doing this live with chat along with me as well. Say hi, chat. I'm gonna switch over scenes real quick so you guys can say hi. You're only getting a couple seconds. Say hi, chat. Go ahead, say hi, chat. Yeah, 30 seconds. Oh, people arrive, dude. What is that? People arrive, dude. That's so rude. What is that? People arrive. Why would you do that? Yeah, exactly. Don't pet the people at him right now. Someone don't pet the people at freaking easy. All right, we're switching scenes back. All right, let's go. Also, no, one more time. Look at the tacos. Monka gun. Dude, stream chat's so rude sometimes. So rude. Anyway, so we're gonna be reviewing the footage from TGS. I watched this morning with a bunch of the other content creators for PSO2. Watched it with Anamana. Watched it with Kaz. I know they're doing videos on this stuff as well. You guys should definitely go check them out. I'm probably gonna look up their videos and toss them in the video description of this one as well, just so you can get their thoughts. But we kind of like watched everything. We bounced some ideas off each other afterwards. I think Kaz has actually got that recorded. So definitely check that out. But we're gonna pretty much just kind of jump around. This is gonna be very informal. Just kind of like my site reads, thoughts on what I saw, like, you know, just that sort of stuff, and look at it with the chat. Also, I apologize. I waited till this evening to do this because I wanted to get the best footage possible for this. However, it's a live stream and it's live stream footage, and to be honest, it's not that great. I also don't know how this is going to work with with copyright, because usually they're kind of against this sort of thing, but since things have been coming over to global, Sega's been a bit better about that, so we'll have to see. Hopefully this video is fine. Worst case scenario, I just have to take off ads, so it might work out better for you guys overall. But let's jump into this. We're going to leave it muted, but we're going to be looking for just the bits we want to see. So this is where it starts with PSO2 stuff. It's just the trailer itself. This, funny enough, is the Japanese trailer. Just one quick mention. So you're going to see some things that weren't in the global trailer. Things like the sheen on skin, as well as when it shows the consoles it's releasing on. It shows PS4 and it shows Switch. However, that's just because this is the Japanese trailer. The global trailer does not show those. It shows Xbox and it shows PC. So does that mean that it's not coming to those consoles? I mean, not necessarily. However, I wouldn't base what you see here on what we're getting for global. Yeah, just a couple of different things. So yeah, there's that moment I was telling you guys beforehand about the whole sheen on the skin and stuff of that sort. And then of course they show off a couple of other things when it comes to accessories, that sort of thing. And I mean, this is mostly more some of the stuff we've already seen. Nothing really too new here. One thing I do want to note too, and I'm not sure if I mentioned in my video beforehand when I talked about this, but I was checking out Twitter, and Tate kind of mentioned that he's hoping things like Golden Top, by the way, if you guys haven't actually seen him on over on Twitch, does a lot of other content, things like that. And mentioned wanting to see Ogleflow again, and a lot of the enemies in this did remind me of Ogleflow, so I was like, oh, okay, pretty nice. This is just mostly more of what we've seen so far, just field boss stuff. The field bosses do give me some pretty hardcore Ogleflow vibes, for sure. Now this is something, hang on, I want to touch on this really quick because it doesn't get shown later, right? So stop right here. Come on, go back to it right here. So you guys can barely see it, but right here is actually where they have Photon Blast. I'm actually gonna max the size of this so you guys might, it's not really the easiest thing to see, it's right near the bottom, but they have Photon Blast. Right now they're showing off the Force, and you can see it's a giant laser. Now keep that in mind, and you can actually see where it shows Photon Blast in the next frame, but keep that in mind moving forward, because the Photon Blasts are used again, so it's kind of cool. So we're gonna skip ahead again because it goes into a bunch of stuff that isn't PSO2, and this is where they start talking about it and showing off a few things. So there's some introductions. I would honestly recommend taking a look at the video yourselves. It's pretty funny, but the translation wasn't really fantastic. This is where they start talking about the history of PSO. Unfortunately, they completely skip over PSU, my boy. They skip over Phantasy Star Zero. They skip over a lot of those, and they just talk about PSO. So it is what it is. And they're showing off more of the features of NGS, talking about the character customization, the enemies. The Rappies look sick, by the way. They look a bit bigger. I'm not sure about you guys, but they do seem a bit bigger. And then again, talking more about just what we've seen so far. But we're going to get a little bit more into a bit with the characters. So they're showing off some of the characters. Again, that I'm not sure how I feel about that human face, but it is what it is. They show off the Newman female this time around. They've shown her off beforehand, and I believe the next one's the cast. Yeah, and they show off a male cast. So unfortunately, they do show not gender locking, but they show the specific genders and they don't show the opposites. So you only get to see the male cast, the male human, and the female Newman. So. Show a bit of the running animations. Look pretty cool. One thing I'm noticing is they don't have the slide animations that the cast in Phantasy Star Online 2 currently have. Maybe that's something that'll be available later on. We're not 100% sure. Of course, this is like pre-alpha footage, basically. So, and this is where they show off some more of the environment. Now, a lot of what the environment we've seen so far has been mostly one planet. It's just a single planet. It shows multiple different biomes. Well, not biomes, I'm sorry. It shows like a day-night cycle, essentially. That's really about it. It's pretty chill. Pretty nice. I mean, I do like these areas. They look really cool. Funny enough, they show off something in the background there that we'll take a look at in just a little bit. And this is where they're kind of giving a little bit of a look at the day-night cycle sort of thing. I'm sure certain enemies will be around during the night versus other ones being around during the day. Maybe like rare rates for certain types of enemies at certain times, so on and so forth. Maybe they could even get to enemy level aggression at certain times of the day, which would be kind of cool. So this is where they show off the beginning area, kind of like the hub where you start out at. It's directly connected to the actual field, so I'm gonna pause this right here really quick. So you can kind of see in the background a few different things going on back here. You can't really tell exactly what all this stuff is. I know some people have translated a few of these things, but you can kind of see like a little gate back here. It looks like this is kind of like where you'd land and out the different shops and things of that sort. So this is kind of cool. The coolest part about this whole lobby situation, now you can actually see a little bit more going on here too. This looks like a bit of a door or anything like that, so you can enter in. But the cool part about this whole lobby thing is like it's directly connected to the outside world. It's just fluid. You walk right into the world itself. There's like a little bit of a load area, and bam, you're in the world. I mean, there's nothing that you have to worry about as far as load screens. Everything's kind of connected, so that's really, really cool. Movement's pretty solid. Running animation's kind of meh, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. Then it shows it meeting up with some friends. And it takes off running again. Just showing some walk cycle stuff. I mean, showing just different areas. It's pretty cool. And then we're running into, looks like a fight. So one thing I did notice is, and we'll step back just a little bit. The combo. And we'll talk about this more in the actual combat portion of this. But we still have the regular step attack that they show off with the sword is still that kick. So I know people that are sword users that are used to having sacrifice bite type 0 with a different step attack are gonna be a little sad, but you know, it is what it is. This is where they're showing off the day-night cycle, and you can see in the top left-hand corner where actually I can pause it really quick too. You can see right here where you can tell when it's starting to get to the different portions of the day. It's kind of cool the way they do the photon sword too. The hilt is just on your back, and you actually have the sword that's gonna protrude out when you actually swing it. Looks like in weather environments are also gonna play a part as well. Now this is where they're starting to show off some of the movement. If you just, it looks like it's like a double dash. You dash twice, and you go into a photon run, or photon dash, or photon sprint, or something like that. One of those two. I can't remember what the name of the actual ability was, but all you have to do is dash twice. Everyone has access to it. There's also, they show off, you have the double jump, which, thank God, that's going to be something right from the get-go. That's what we'd expect. Again, more double jump. Now, let's actually make a quick change. I was going to just do the music in the background, but let's actually listen to the audio a bit.
Next is this one, glide. The glide is an action that is helpful when you are moving from high grounds. As you can see, the character slowly descends from high altitude, so I believe you can move further away. Wow.
Translations aren't exactly the best. Unfortunately, the voiceovers are kind of meh, but you know, it is what it is.
It's very three-dimensional.
And I'm mostly going to be talking over. So again, I would highly recommend you guys watch this on your own as well, after getting my information, my insight, or watch it first and then come back to the video afterwards. You know, either way, they're just showing off more of the glide stuff.
Wow! Finally, go over it.
I didn't notice this originally on the stream, but there's a lot of little points where you have actually. Hold on a second. They're talking about healing items. Hang on a second. I didn't notice a lot of these here, and I'm kind of curious of what that is. There's a lot of those little info spots, and there's like a few of them right there on the trees too. So it's kind of cool.
Very good.
They're gonna talk about the healing as well in the game.
The items for healing will not be available at shops for pre-purchases, but will be ones you will pick up within the field.
So healing items aren't going to be purchased from shops, so you actually have to find them out in the world.
The many variations of healing will be integrated to one. Furthermore, you will also not be required to stop moving while exploring or fighting, so you can heal whenever you want.
Heal
By
spamming.
obtaining objects called resta signs within the field, the number of heals you can use will increase, so try searching them while exploring. I see. When it's bright, we shine in the field then.
I'm hoping this isn't like super farm intensive or anything like. Yeah, I don't want to have to farm heals. I mean, I'm hoping heals are just kind of like a back end sort of thing that's not really super necessary, but we'll have to see how it works out.
I see.
I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit because I want to make sure I'm speaking over it consistently. So they're talking more about what we'll be dealing with kind of moving forward. So we're moving into combat next, which is actually going to be super cool.
Okay, let me introduce combat-related information that everyone.
This is what most people were looking for.
In the next footage.
We're starting with a hunter.
We will be talking about the third main concept of PSO2, which is high-quality online RPG action and how that has evolved.
Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys noticed that, but he did actually get a guard off into a follow-up attack, which was pretty sick.
In other words, occupation to choose from.
They're going to talk more about what it actually is.
Three basic classes of Hunter, Ranger, and Force. I see.
That little slide that happens whenever you're charging a PA is kind of sick. You can notice they also have a five-step attack. You can also do your photon dash in combat, which is really nice.
Weapons to fight. It is a well-balanced class that boasts high performance in both attack and defense. The action of the hunter's weapon, the sword, will be introduced. The sword is a versatile weapon that can be used in group battles against enemy mobs and against bosses. Similar to the series,
Seems like there's a lot of normal attacking going on.
Fight with both normal attacks and the special moves called Photon
Ooh,
Arts.
he's getting bodied, dude.
In New Genesis, up to 5 continuous strikes are available for normal stacks, with the 5th strike being as powerful as Photon Arts. Okay, let's try it and see how powerful it will be.
So it's 5-step normals.
Weapon action exclusive to the sword will allow players to guard and protect themselves from enemy attacks.
Looks like it goes into not only the
button
5th
after
attack, but you go to
guarding,
4th and
you
5th
can
attack from getting that
immediately
guard
launch
off.
the 5th strike of the normal attacks as a counter-attack, so you can enjoy combined offensive and defensive battle that makes the most of opponents' attacks. Also, users who have played PSO2 may have noticed from the video that there is no perfect attack in New Genesis, so you can enjoy the action without being restrained by perfect attacks.
So there will be no perfect attacks or just attack for those of you guys who played on JP. I know people have different opinions about whether that's a good or a bad thing, but I think it's more of a homogenization sort of thing. Perfect attacks and just attacks are something that's very, very common for Phantasy Star players, but outside of the Phantasy Star universe, it really isn't something that's fairly common for action games.
We will introduce the Ranger next. The Ranger class excels at long-range gunfighting and party support.
Just showing off a couple attacks. That Positron Blast spam, dude. Pretty nice.
Ranger.
And the movement
now
is
I will
just
introduce the actions of the Ranger's
beautiful.
weapon, the assault rifle.
Ranger seems very grounded, at least the way that they're playing it.
The assault rifle is a weapon that can do high damage by maintaining an appropriate distance from the enemy.
So that's one thing that's pretty cool is there's damage fall off if you're too far away or if you're too close. So you have to have like this mid sweet spot sort of range, kind of similar to ranged weapons in Monster Hunter.
Now it is this one. What you are seeing is the sliding shot is an assault rifle specific weapon action.
I'm not sure if weapon action has PP regen. I can't see. They haven't used any PP. Oh, hang on. Oh, it does. It does have PP regen. Yeah, something mentioned in chat as well, that the lighting looks good even in this like horrible resolution.
You
yeah.
are also able to swap your view
even in
to
as kind of crap as this looks.
Control your character and the camera to freely aim and attack.
Yeah, rifle's actually got a weapon action.
We also recommend this view to users who are used to TPS and FPS games. I see.
Over the shoulder camera still here and strong. So Ranger's looking pretty good. Now the next one that they're going to talk about,
that was the video for the Ranger,
is Force, and Force low-key looks kind of amazing.
Defense and protection, this weapon may be a good choice for you. Next, please watch the video introducing the Force.
So Force is kind of crazy. It is consistently floaty.
The last that we will introduce is for the Force. The Force is a class that specializes in magic-like long-range elemental attacks called techniques.
Also, you saw that right? They just used a guard.
Now, we will introduce the actions of the Rod, the weapon equipped for the Force. The Rod can attack with multiple elements by utilizing techniques.
For those of you guys who are familiar with the Japanese servers, probably get a lot of vibes from Etswell when it comes to Force. Yeah, most of us did as well.
Wow.
An active guard. You're constantly floating. You have access to a ranged normal attack.
We will start with the fire element Foye. Foye is a simple technique that deals high damage. In this game, non-charge and charge will change the performance of the technique.
So yeah, using your PAs, it looks like you have access to regular Foye, and if you charge it, it's basically raw Foye.
It changes into something that deals direct damage to the surrounding.
I actually didn't notice if the damage was how much better the damage was overall. I'm gonna go back for a second.
it cannot have it charged, and charge will change the performance of the technique.
So it's hitting for 40, and it looks like it had a fire dot on him, so I think about 47, and the charge version 71, but no dot. Interesting.
Direct damage to the surroundings.
And then we've got Bardo.
Next up is the ice element attack, Bata. Ice element technique generate ice.
It looks like when you're using
shoot it without charging it, and if you charge it up and hit it with charged Bata, you can deal a lot of damage depending on the status of the crystals.
So it's kind of interesting. It follows the mindset of Phantom with Phantom markers, where you build up markers and detonate them in a sense. Bardo seems to work a little similar.
Normal attacks can send bolts flying from long distance, so you can always maintain a long distance when fighting.
Bardo into ill Bardo, yeah.
The rod exclusive weapon action performs similarly to the sword's guard, preventing attacks on the spot.
That guard is just ridiculous. Now, one thing I didn't notice, and I'm going to look at really quick.
Without Bata, ice element does not charge it. It does not have non-charge element.
Hang on a second. I want to see what the PP cost versus generation look like.
First, we will start with the fire element Foya.
That's 20 PP per use.
Deals high damage. In this game, non-charge and charge will change the performance of the technique.
Yeah, it was 20 PP per use.
It will send a flame
That's
ball
pretty expensive, don't get me wrong.
It changes into something that
And then their PP regeneration
to the surroundings of the target. Next up is the ice element attack, Bata. Ice element technique generate ice crystals if you shoot it without charging it, and if you charge it up and hit it.
Oh, it's the Bardo effect. Yeah, that's what you were talking about.
Depending on the status of the crystals.
I see.
Bardo's about 25 each. Now, I really wish they would purposely use some Photon and then use a guard. I want to see if guard actually regens any PP.
So you can always maintain a long distance when fighting.
No, the charge version cost PP, but it started. The PP cost started when it started the charge.
The rod exclusive weapon action performs similarly to the sword's guard, preventing attacks on the spot.
Yeah, I kind of wish that you could see.
That was the video introducing the force.
Yeah, check out the combat prior to this. There'll be combat. There's another combat section afterwards, the party play, so we can check it there.
You can even guard.
Okay, so this is where they start talking about some gathering stuff. So.
Next, we would like to introduce you to two types of sections in the adventure area. As I explained earlier, the adventure area consists of multiple sections that are seamlessly spread. Those sections are made up of two types: exploration section, where you gather materials and ingredients, and the battle section, where you mainly engage with enemy characters. Now let me explain about the exploration section. In this section, you will be able to obtain a variety of materials through many different ways that help you in your quest. For example, you can jump and pick fruits from trees.
Wow.
We're picking
Likewise,
fruits now.
you can obtain materials from the surrounding environment, and we call it gathering. In the world of New Genesis, there is an enemy species called tames. They are like a wild animal, and you can obtain materials by defeating them as well. Tames are not so strong, but you would have to aim your attack well, or they would run away and you will not be able to defeat them.
I'm actually gonna add you guys in really quick, chat.
It's very smoothly done. Great.
Just so people can see I'm answering any questions. But yeah, to be honest, Hunter seems very similar to Hero in a lot of ways. I mean, granted, it's still Hunter. It's still very much Hunter. But it has a lot of elements from Hero. And then you've got, oh, this is actually something cool. Check this out. So they float above it.
Those meat and fruits
And then a plunging attack. That is sick. And every weapon has one of these.
Temporary boosts to
It's
the player
super
character.
sick.
Wow.
But in a lot of ways, rifles seem very similar to that of Phantom from its weapon action, and then Etwal or Force had a lot of similarities to Etwal. And gliding doesn't take any PP now. Movement doesn't take any PP whatsoever, which is really nice, and it can be used in combat too. So they're going over the party play stuff. So you can see he's running towards like a gate-looking area. That's kind of like the gate between areas itself. They're standing right before the gate.
Let's form a party and head to the combat.
And they group up, and then they go through into the next area together. And when they go into the next area together, they group up together immediately.
In its purest form.
Wow.
Within these combat sections, enemies spawn at random, indicated by an E mark, to its little yellow mark.
I don't like procedural generations or randomness too much, but I mean, if it's done well, it's not going to be too bad.
First, we will head for the E mark. In New Genesis, there are species of enemies referred to as dolls. The first one that appeared is its smallest type, a Huan.
And one thing that was mentioned during the time we were watching this originally, it looks like everything's kind of auto-looting for the most part. You don't have to run around and pick up a bunch of stuff. As long as you get near it, it auto-loots into your inventory from what we can tell. You can see the Masada kind of going to the character.
From the high place.
Yeah, no focus either required for it looks like. So, but I mean, again, this is super early alpha footage. We don't know for certain if that's how Hunter's going to work. So they could add more weapons to it. It could be. There's a lot of other things that could be included.
So let's head there.
Oh, the plunging attack, dude.
Shown on the screen are Pedas sword and Pedas gun. They are big-sized dolls.
So pay attention to that movement, by the way. I'm going to go back and look at it again.
They are big-sized dolls,
dodge, attack. So fun fact, and something I noticed when immediately actually when I look at this, you actually have a counter attack when you perfectly dodge through something. They're going to talk about it in just a second. There it goes again. So not only do you have a parry on Hunter, you also have a dodge counter attack.
The graphics is doing well.
So a lot of things are being pulled from a lot of the Scion classes, which is kind of cool. What's going on, War? Dude, that little float as you're charging a PA, just like small quality of life like that just feels really good.
In New Genesis, every weapon shares the same evade action in a form of a step. You can also use a step attack by attacking right after a step in order to switch rapidly to combat. You can also perform a powerful counter-attack by using a step attack when dodging enemy strikes at just the right moment.
So it's very important they mention this too. If you guys watch the damage,
here we go.
It's going to show you in other classes doing it.
Somebody using the ranger. You can
They're
also
stepping through
use
attacks,
step counter
and it gets counter-attack damage in.
Like so.
But it's very important. When you were watching the Hunter's
Also, as we mentioned
proper
earlier,
parry attack
explanation of
was
the
stronger than their
rifles,
step counter, which is extremely
high
important,
damage
because if it
when
wasn't,
you
then there would be
keep
no
an
reason to
optimum
use it.
distance. That is why in this title, it's very important that you maintain high
Do we know when this is
level
releasing for
of
sure?
mobility
Absolutely
as you
not. This is
engage
like
in
way
combat
too early in
instead of
development.
standing
They've
still.
barely shown us 3 classes. We know next year, and that's it. We can like guess December, because that's the latest technically next year can be.
Let's proceed to the next enemy location.
Tentative date, December 31st, 2021.
And even with the high place, you can just jump up.
So yeah, they jump. I love the seamlessness between combat, like you're going from fight to fight. Nope, new type of enemies.
These alters, called lizard, are tricky enemies which cause status ailments despite their size.
Yeah, we know for certain it's releasing next year. That much they've already told us.
The assault rifle's photon arts.
At 11:59, correct. Happy freaking New Year, guys. So yeah, hunters have a lot of flair that Phantom has with rifles, so. Yes, they also have to upgrade. That's one thing that I'm actually fairly curious about, is when the upgrade for base PSO2 is going to happen, and if it's going to happen, you know, in a decent amount of time before New Genesis comes out. Because that would be really, really cool.
Another trial has appeared, so we will move there.
But in between July and September, I feel like that's a pretty fair time frame.
To one of a Force player.
Have an update 600 plus costumes? Exactly. It's going to be a lot.
Force.
Well, they're redoing the entire engine, so. As you see, Force also has that plunging attack.
The next enemy that appeared is a doll named Golaron. The attacks get blocked when attacking it from the front. So
Okay,
let's
can you
go
use a
around its
cast,
back
please,
to
and then
attack it.
block something so I can see if you get PP
As
back?
such, identifying each enemy's weaknesses and characteristics is crucial for combat.
Can't wait to see how this is on an OG X-Bone. I'm just glad that that's not something I'm gonna have to worry about.
Also, using the Force's techniques to hit it with its elemental weaknesses forces it to go into a special down state. Since a lot of these dolls appearing in this
Okay, now
broadcast
block
are
something.
ice-based, let's
Block
defeat
something,
them
please.
using Bata.
Please block
Once you
something.
inflict enough damage with Bata, the enemy goes into a frozen-like state. These states are called elemental damage reaction, which exists
Oh,
for
why is this
every
force so
enemy.
bad?
By attacking with their weaknesses,
What's going
you
on,
can create
Socks and Neko?
openings like this.
Oh, I never blocked it, dude. Feels bad, man.
Around, so let's go on. From here on, we will switch back to the player using the hunter.
Wow, big ones.
These new enemies here are dots. They snipe the player from very far away, but you can defeat them quickly by targeting their weak point at the back of their neck.
Wow. What should we do? What should he do? Wow. I see.
Yes, you see their weak point is at the back of their neck. Let's aim
Dang,
at-
they actually take quite a bit of
let's
damage
aim
there.
at it.
I did. We also synced the cock. Yeah, no, I saw. I noticed. Oh, you died. Are you guys playing hardcore? Just so you guys know, we're doing a
Again,
a review of the NGS footage, and I'm going to be uploading it to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube then.
The boss.
So this is something that was cool. If you glide into these, you actually get moved up in the air, which is it's pretty neat.
Now in the neck there's a mark. There's something there.
Do you guys notice the camera? Look at that. Hold on.
The boss.
Let's go back.
There's a mark.
Watch what happened when we got here. Look at the camera.
There's
I don't know if this is a dramatic effect on purpose for like just the demonstration, but this is what we need. We need this if we're playing melee against these giant enemies. Please, please let this be a normal thing.
Make it a powerful enemy. First, we aim for a counter by using a sword.
Wow.
They're trying to get counters off. Again, super good the fact that these counters do more damage than the
But as you can see,
than the
it's
step counter.
possible to use your step counter and guards to get a counter attack in.
Put those on PSO2 as well. That'd be nice. I just don't know if it would work well with the environments that they have. And you can see
Attacks
also
from long
if he's
range
on
with
his range
rifles are
character,
also
it's not
very effective.
zoomed out.
However, this enemy at times uses shockwave attacks and pouncing attacks from afar, so don't
Counters aren't using PP. That's cool. Yeah, the counters seem to be generating PP, not using it. But again, it's very important that his block counters actually are stronger though overall. And they mentioned it lets you jump to the 5th attack, but it actually jumps to the 4th and the 5th attack.
Once enough damage is
Oh,
inflicted,
enraged.
it goes into a raging state. You need to be
Blue Monster
careful
Hunter.
as it will perform even fiercer attacks than the first half of the fight. You can also force the Nagus
Look at those
into
steps
an
on force.
elemental damage reaction state. Attack it with the techniques of the elements to which he is weak.
Nope. We froze him.
We were able to get it to an elemental
Alright, so,
damage reaction
remember
state.
earlier how I
Let's
mentioned
go
about the
all
Photon
out
Blast?
on it.
That's why I mentioned it. Because on Hunter, he does a Photon Blast that's completely different.
Elemental damage reaction state. Let's go all out on it.
Wow, that's so cool.
Hello crosscut, by the way. Hello overend. That's his Photon Blast. You can tell he uses it. Watch.
Element.
Look in the bottom. Look at the very bottom.
We were able to get it to
Second on his palette.
elemental
It says
damage
PB on
reaction
it.
state. Let's
And
go
then
all
used.
out on it.
1, 2.
Wow, that's so cool.
And that
There
death
we go.
animation's sick.
We beat it. That will be it for the gameplay footage we will be showing for today.
So that's pretty much everything that they showed off for NGS. That is, we gotta see it one more time. We gotta see it one more time, once more.
We were able
just
to
one
get
more
it to
time.
an elemental damage reaction state. Let's go all out on it.
Smack. Oh, can we see the damage that was on that? Hit him for like 36s though.
Let's go all out on
I don't think they showed any damage numbers, like any legit damage numbers. No, they didn't. Those damage numbers were from someone else.
There we go.
Yeah, no, they've shown damage numbers though before, like, and he did his counter attack for like 186 damage. They just didn't show any damage numbers for that ability. So it's a tech demo. They're not really gonna show much, but that's pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I mean, it also looks really bad because it's live stream footage, and the live stream footage wasn't really great. I was hoping we'd get something else to look at. I'm sure we'll get something else over the next few days, which if we do, we'll try to take a look at it. But that is pretty much more or less everything for NGS, man. It looks really, really good. I'm actually super excited. What about you, chat? Before I ask YouTube, what about you, chat? What are you excited for? What are you guys excited about when it comes to NGS? I'm just going to leave this full screened. But, everything seems super, super smooth. There is a bit of hit lag or hit stun lag or whatever. Or hit stun lag. There's a bit of lag in some of the Hunter's PAs, which I'd like to see smoothed out. I'd like to see that smoothed out a lot, personally. Which I'm sure it will get. It's just, again, it's very early. It's alpha, you know, all that shit. So I'm excited for cast parts and high resolution, cast master race. Dude, yeah, a lot of stuff looks really, really cool, man. It's gonna be really awesome. But for you guys over on the YouTube side, what are you guys excited for? Feel free to toss it in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to toss it down there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Super, super helpful, completely free, keeps up with all the content. We're gonna go over more stuff in the future as well as it comes around. But this was just what came out for TGS. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this now and actually entertain a stream for the next few minutes because I still have to do that. And, you know, of course, chat is talking to you and saying goodbye. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Peace out.